So welcome everybody. Welcome if you just joined in. We're just getting started. You're just in time for the Goalball Challenge of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games. I'm your host again, Josh Lucas from Wayfinder Family Services. I'm super excited. We had a great week so far at presenting Goalball for the first time with the Angel City Sports, and we're super excited to do the challenge today. So I have a couple quick announcements before we get started. So first, if you can, during the review and then the challenge, if you can remain on mute, it would be helpful so we can hear our coaches, Eliana and Calahan. Today, we want all non-adaptive athletes to add the word supporter to their name. So if you're here as an adapted athlete participating, just have your first and last name, the same as your registration. If you are here just to check it out, and you are not an adapted athlete, please put supporter in your name. You can do that by clicking the 3 dots on your own video box and hitting rename, and you can change your name on Zoom, okay? There will also be some chances later to ask questions, and you can raise your hand in the participant window. If you click the participant window, there's a chance to raise your hand in there. Or you can just type all of your questions into the chat and we will get to them, okay? Next, we're very fortunate we have medical volunteers. We have Rob and we have Ashley here today. They're gonna wave to everybody if you can see them waving. They're here for you guys, okay? So they wanna remind you a couple things. Please keep some water nearby and perform your skin checks if that's necessary for you. Please make sure your name is, again, same name on registration so we know who you are. And please turn on your camera during the challenge. If you're not just calling in, please turn on your camera. We want to help keep everyone safe. Medical's here every day, 30 minutes before and after. And we want to make sure that if you guys have any questions or need anything, you can message them directly. You can reach out to me and I will help put you in one of the breakout rooms with them. But if you have any history of cardiovascular breathing, COVID, any injuries you're dealing with, please just let them know, okay? Finally, I really want to thank all of our sponsors, of course. The Hartford is the presenting sponsor, and we couldn't do this without them. Very, very supportive, and we're super thankful for them. We have, we'll bring them back in towards the end. We have some fun stuff to do. Adaptive apps for building the portal and helping us all get here. And of course, Wayfinder Family Services for all the work they do for athletes who are blind and visually impaired. And we're super happy to be a part of this as well. So thank you for all the volunteers, all the allies, medical, our coaches. So if you haven't yet met our coaches, we will actually get started with that. So we will introduce our coaches and just give us a little bit about yourself really quick, and we'll start with you, Calahan. Go ahead.
Hey, sorry, I clicked on the chat thing and it took over the screen.
Okay.
I'm Calahan Young. I'm on the USA Men's National Goalball team. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm one of the coaches.
Thank you, thank you. Go ahead, Eliana.
Hi, everyone. My name's Eliana Mason. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm on the USA Women's National Team. I went to the 2016 Rio Paralympics, where our team won a bronze medal, and have been training really hard this quad to make the 2020 team. I also just wanted to add on to what Josh was saying real quick, that sometimes I know, like being blind myself, it's hard to visually see stuff on the screen, to always find the chat box or to like do certain things. So if you need to unmute yourself before we get started to ask help to get it set up the way you need it to be, do that, because don't feel limited because it's hard to access the technology.
Perfect, thank you for that. See, our coaches are always being advocates, especially for our athletes who are blind. So thank you for that, Eliana. So we're gonna get started, and what I think we should do before we get to the gauntlet is gonna be just that, it's a gauntlet. I wanna do a quick review of the week. So if anyone wasn't here on Monday or Wednesday. So I think the first thing we should review is defense. So, and for those of you who can see your screen, if you do have some vision, you can either pin Coach Eliana or Coach Calahan, it'll make them bigger. So if somebody's audio describing, if you have on speaker view, it'll go to the person who's audio describing. So if you want to see just the way their body is moving, please pin either Eliana or Coach Calahan. So Calahan is going to demonstrate the defense, and Coach Eliana is going to describe what to do. So we can go ahead and pin Calahan's video.
I don't know if it makes it easier, but my video is right here. If it brings it to the front or something.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm pinning your video, so on the people can see you're on the bigger screen, and they can do the same. And take it away, Coach Eliana.
All right. Hi, everyone. So if you were, this is going to be a little review from Monday. So if you're here, great. If not, we'll catch you up. So for defense, when you're playing goal ball, the goal is you want to block the ball. I tell people reverse dodgeball. You want to get hit with this ball. And so the best way to do that is to make your body as long and as like stiff as possible. So that ball is going to hit you and you're going to stop it. And so a drill we went over with you guys that I suggest practicing 2 to 3 times a week, just whenever you want. We call it the cannonball drill. So you start on your side with your hands at your knees pulled up to your chest. Kind of if someone ever has described the fetal position to you, knees to the chest, and your arms are kind of like either around your knees or resting on them. And then you're going to shoot out. So extend your arms and extend your feet. And so you are on your side. You're either on your right side or your left side. So if you're on your left side, your left arm, your left hip, and your left leg are touching the ground. And if you're on your right side, right arm, right leg, and right hip are touching the ground. So once you're in that position, if Calahan, if you could lay out into that position for me, please. I want you guys to have 3 points of reference that you check: your hands, your head, and your feet. So think of those 3 points of reference and make sure those points are in the correct position before you get back into your ready position and start again. So real quick, head, most important thing I want you guys to focus on. It needs to be tucked and out of the way. If you have your arms just like out and your head's chilling, you're probably going to get hit in the face at some point. So very, very important. What we teach our athletes is to turn your head down to that shoulder that's on the ground. And we always say, like, kiss your shoulder. That's how you know your head is turned enough. So biggest thing, tuck that head, turn it down, kiss that shoulder, and get it out of the way. For hands, I want you to have them extended. I want your bottom elbow to be on the ground, but that's it. Do not have your wrists on the ground. If your wrists are on the ground, the ball is going to hit them and roll over you. So bottom elbow on the ground, and the rest of your arms are off the ground. If anyone can see how Calahan has his hands off the ground, and he has his fingers splayed, his palms are ready to like get hit by a ball and stop it. So he has strong arms off the ground. And then lastly, with your legs, you want them staggered. If they're on top of each other, or if your top leg is behind, you're creating a ramp for that ball, which is the exact opposite of our goal. So you want your top leg to be slightly in front of your bottom leg. And we call it like making a roof. And your toes are pointed, your legs are flexed. And so when the ball comes and hits you, that top leg is like making a stopper for it. And it's like gonna stop that ball. So you don't want your feet laying on the ground. This position it's a very athletic position. Your hands are off the ground, your legs are off the ground. So basically from like your upper thigh to your elbow, that's all that's touching. And your feet are off, your hands are off, and your head is back and tucked. And the last thing is your body. You don't want to be leaning backwards. You want to have it leaning slightly forward. So again, if that ball hits you, you're not making a ramp for the ball. So when we do this position, I start in a cannonball, I shoot out, check my hands, check my head, check my feet, go back into my position. Shoot out, check my hands, check my head, check my feet, and then go back. And so this is all about muscle memory, because in a goalball game, you guys at the highest level, we have less than a second to react to that ball. We hear it, it's 3 pounds, and it's coming at us around 35 miles an hour. You have to react. And so if I have to lay out and think, are my hands, are my feet, is my head good? That ball's already scoring. So what we have to really, really drill is muscle memory. So in the game, when a ball is coming, your body gets into that position without you even having to tell it to do so.
Great. Thank you, Coach Eliana. Now we're going to switch, and Calahan is going to review some offensive throwing steps and the steps you would take. So we will pin Coach Eliana's video.
Is this an okay angle, Josh?
Yeah, if you could move your camera down just a tad.
Okay,
so you can see your steps.
Sorry, just let me know. Is this good?
That's perfect.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to see which step to take first. Hello, everybody. This is Calahan coming to you from Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you guys about how to throw the goal ball today. So, like the first way that you really learn how to throw a goal ball is just a straight 3-step approach. And basically all it is a bowling throw. So you know how you go bowling, you take 3 to 4 steps, you release the ball. You try to release it before the lane marker line so you don't get the red light. And so in goal ball, what you're going to do is you're going to have the ball in your right hand. If you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, we can go over that in a second. And if you are left-handed, shoot us a message in the chat just so we know. But so right-handed, so what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 step forward with your left foot, another foot forward with your right foot. And this is when you're starting to pull your arm back with the ball. And then your third step is going to be a big lunge forward. And that's whenever you're coming through with the ball, getting low to the ground and rolling the ball on the ground. And then you're going to take 1/4 follow-through step. So again, that's a left foot forward, keeping the ball at your hip. A second foot forward, which is your right foot. That's when you're starting to pull the ball back. And then a big lunge with that third foot where you're coming down, getting really close to the ground and releasing the ball. And your fourth step is going to be a follow-through. Whenever you're bowling, you want to make sure you get nice and low or else it's going to hit the floor and break the floor and they're going to kick you out. So similar concept in goal ball is you want to get real nice and low to the ground and release it so that it's not penalized, because there's two opportunities for penalties in goal ball when you're throwing. There's a high ball and a long ball. So we want to make sure that we're not committing either of those penalties.
And Coach Calahan, we do have someone who's left-handed in the chat. So.
Sweet. We had a left-hander on Monday, so I hope that's the same person. That's super cool. So left-handed.
Cal, I don't mean to cut you off, but one thing I was going to say is something that helps me, as Calahan was mentioning, like getting low is so important. Almost think about wanting the back side of your hand, so your knuckles, to almost graze the ground. Obviously, you don't want to smash your hand into the ground, but if your goal is to almost graze the ground, it'll help just get you lower in general.
Exactly. And also make sure whenever you're coming through with the ball that you really want to keep your chest and your shoulder blades kind of, you don't want to have your shoulders hanging forward. You want to have your shoulders pulled back and your chest pointing to where you're going to throw the ball. It's going to help your body and you throw the ball to the location that you're trying to throw. Now for the left-handed, so this is a little bit more tricky because I'm right-handed. So left-handed, you're going to have the ball in your left hand, obviously. And then you're going to take a step forward with your right foot, a step forward with your left foot. And this is when you're starting to pull your arm back, getting your throw in its progress. And then you're taking a big lunge with that right foot coming forward. And as Eliana said, you're grazing the ground with your knuckles, trying to get real low to the ground and then releasing, and then one final follow through step. So again, left foot, or your right foot forward. Take another left foot. This is when you're pulling the ball back. And then that final right foot is a big lunge coming through, getting real close to the ground and releasing it with a follow through.
Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you, coaches. So now we will, really quick, just a reminder, we're going to get into the gauntlet here next. So if you are participating in the gauntlet, please, we're going to request that you can turn on your video so we can see and make sure you're okay during the gauntlet. Go get your water. You can grab your water. If medical now, if you guys want to unmute yourselves and if you want to give any notes right now, you can do it while people are getting their waters. And then after medical makes their announcement, we'll do a quick little stretch. Coach Calahan and Eliana give us a quick little stretch to get our heart rates ready. And then we're getting right into the gauntlet.
Hey everybody, you have Ashley and Rob here from medical to help you guys out. Just if you have your videos on, that's awesome. We can see you. If not, if you can just check in with us at water breaks, just so we can make sure everyone is safe and having a good time.
Yep, just make sure you've got plenty of space. You're not going to hit anything during the gauntlet. And as always, if you need anything, reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions and help out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And yes, so really quick, before we start the gauntlet, we will demo the gauntlet. Don't worry. We will go over the demo if you weren't here, and you can participate. But first, let's get our stretches in, and then we will review before we do the actual gauntlet, so it's fresh in everyone's minds. Okay. So whichever coach wants to take the lead on doing a couple good stretches, we'll get our stretches in.
The chat box has been like the demise. Oh, you got it, Al.
I was gonna say you can start it.
Cool. So the first stretch we're gonna do is we're gonna take our right arm across our body, using our left hand to grab our right shoulder and pulling it across our body. Josh, you timing?
I can time for you, yes. How long would you like?
Like
15
seconds.
Okay,
Cool.
I got you.
Thank you.
I really feel this, you guys, like in my shoulder and like my upper arm. I'm really feeling it kind of stretching that arm out, which is good for goal ball because you've got to have loose arms when you're throwing the ball.
15 seconds.
Cool. So now you're going to take your left arm, put it across your body, taking your right hand underneath of your left arm, grabbing your left shoulder and pulling it across your body. You're really going to feel this in your back and just all throughout your shoulder. And we got 15 seconds.
I'm timing.
My trusty sidekick is timing for me.
Time.
Perfect. The next stretch, we're going to do a tricep stretch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand, put it behind your head, touching the middle of your back, and you're going to take your left hand, grabbing that right elbow, and pulling it down. And you really feel this in the back of your arms, like your tricep. We'll do this for 15 seconds as well.
Time.
Perfect. Great job, everybody. And the next thing we're going to do is taking your left hand, putting it behind your head, taking your right hand, grabbing that left elbow, and pulling it down, feeling the same stretch in the opposite arm.
Remember, never rush during your warm-ups. Warm-ups is your way of telling your body we're getting ready for exercise.
Exactly. Make sure to have a nice little sweat going. Your body's way of telling you you're starting to warm up.
15 seconds, you're good.
Perfect. Now we're going to do the last arm exercise we're going to do is arm circles. So we're going to do 15 seconds forward and then 15 seconds backwards. So Josh, you could just do a 30. Let me know when we get halfway.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So everyone start going forward. Nice arm circles.
And switch.
Perfect. Great job, everybody. Now we're going backwards. I guess this is clockwise. It depends which way you look at it.
Time.
Fantastic. Eliana, go for it.
Okay, so if you guys have been with me Monday and Wednesday, we're going to do my hip flexor stretch because I just love that one and I think it's so good for your hips and goal ball. So we're going to go into a lunge. So start with your feet together, step forward with your left foot, get into a lunge position that feels comfortable for your body. And then I want you to lean back and take your left arm, put it straight up in the air so your arm's next to your ear, and then lean back your whole body into it, and you feel that stretch in your right hip flexor. And then we'll have Josh time us for 15. And this is just one of my favorites. It really helps loosen up the hips for goal ball, for both blocking and throwing.
Time.
Okay, so we're gonna switch, put your feet back to neutral, take your right foot and step forward into that lunge, and then right arm up in the air, your shoulder next to your ear, and lean back.
This is incredibly difficult on carpet.
Time.
Okay. So we can do some stretches. We haven't done many on the ground with you guys. So if everyone wants to sit down, and we can do the one where you have put your left leg straight in front of you and then pull it to the side a little bit. Take your right foot and put it so it's touching the inside of your left thigh on the ground.
Coach Eliana, can you slide back a little bit so we can see what you're talking about for those of us who can see? Okay.
Is that good?
Yes.
So my right foot is touching the inside of my left thigh on the ground. My left leg is extended, so it's pointing to about 9 o'clock, more like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock right now. And then I'm going to lean and try to get my hands to touch the toes of my left foot that's pointed at the 10 o'clock.
I am timing. Time.
Awesome. So now we're going to switch that. Our left foot is going to touch the inside of our right thigh. Our right leg's going to extend, so it's about at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, somewhere in the middle. Just have it, not straight in front of you. And then we're going to lean forward with our right hand, trying to touch our toes, or as far down as we can get, as comfortably into the stretch. And stretching, you should feel it, but it should never hurt. If it hurts, back off. So it's just about helping your muscles warm up, but you should never be in pain.
Good. That was 15 seconds, Coach.
Awesome. Okay. And then last thing I want us to do, it kind of just helps warm up our whole body, but similar to arm circles, I want us to put our hands by our sides, and then we're just gonna turn our bodies, and feet are staying planted, and your arms are just kind of almost like arm circling without putting your arms in the air. So I'm turning to my left, and my right arm is coming across my body, my left arm is going behind my back, and then I'm turning to the right, my left arm is in front of my body, the right arm, and then I'm kind of just gonna do this a little bit, not too fast, but enough where I feel like my back is getting stretched and my whole body is just kind of feeling looser and warmer.
There you go. We call these helicopter twists.
Ooh, I like that name. I think Calahan has also called them washing machines in the past.
That's not a bad one either.
So yeah, this just helps warm up my body, my back. All right, and I'm feeling good and ready for this Goalball Gauntlet.
All right, so before we start the Gauntlet, last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna review the Gauntlet. So I think Calahan stepped away. He might be getting a drink of water. So Coach Eliana, do you want to back up into frame for me? And we will review the Gauntlet. Okay, so for those of you who might have missed it, here is how we're going to do the Gauntlet. So I will describe it while Coach Eliana performs it. So we are going to start in a ready position. So we will be on the floor on our hands and knees. And we are going to do the Gauntlet for 2 minutes. And we're going to be doing certain exercises. And we're going to count each time we have a cycle of that exercise. So the first thing we're going to do is go from the ready position. We're going to give a defensive slide. Go ahead, Coach Eliana. So she's doing her Superwoman pose. She's fully extended, arms and legs. Then she's going to go back to her ready position. She's going to do 3 push-ups. Then she's going to slide to the other direction on her other hip, fully extended. Very good. Then she's going to get up and do 3 jumping jacks. And then get back down into ready position. And that is 1 cycle. So we're going to see how many of those cycles can we do in 2 minutes. Okay? 2 minutes.
I did a practice on Wednesday, and I think I got like 3 in 30 seconds. So
that is false.
yeah, it was probably 4. Correct. So
all right. So one last check before we start. Everybody check your spaces. Again, if you can have on your video, we would love that. If not, definitely check in with medical, and everybody can get into their positions, and we will start here in about 60 seconds. I'm going to get
Josh.
Yes.
From the live stream, they told me to remind everyone to make sure to take photos and post them and tag Angel City.
Yes, if you can, if somebody can record you, if you haven't already recorded one of your practice runs. And we just want everyone to try your best. We want everyone to push yourselves, try and beat if you've already been practicing this week. Is everybody ready?
If some of you have already done it this week, do you want to put into the chat what your goal has been or what you've done?
Yeah, you can do that. We'll take another second for everyone to get their space ready.
Hey, Josh, am I in the camera?
You are. You are good. You are good.
Would you like Calahan and I to do the gauntlet with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. So Camille said she's going for 6 rounds. This is her first time doing it. She's excited. Okay.
You got this, Camille.
All right. So we are getting ready to begin. Everybody's getting in their ready positions. I see ready positions. So everybody should be starting on their hands and knees. Everyone should be starting on their hands and knees. Nice. All right. And I will give you guys a countdown. So remember, it's going to be slide, 3 push-ups, slide, 3 jumping jacks, back to ready position. All right. And we will be beginning in 3, 2, 1, and go. Wow, very good. Very good. They're moving and grooving. "30 seconds. We have 90 seconds left. 30 seconds. Oh, very good. Very, very good. They call it the gauntlet for a reason. It's going to get harder with each rep, but you guys got it.
Josh, I love the commentary.
We're 1 minute in, 1 minute to go. Very good, very good. It's the final push. You have 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Come on, Nathan.
Let's go, guys.
I know you can do it. Come on, buddy. 20 seconds. Beautiful. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
Good job, guys.
Very, very nice. Everybody, round of applause. Catch your breath. Take a moment to focus on your breathing. Grab a drink.
I'm winded. I hope you guys are too.
Very, very nice. Coach Eliana, how many cycles did you get?
9.
9. Very, very good. Coach Calahan, how many cycles did you get?
I got 10.
Very, very good. I couldn't keep track. Everyone was moving so fast. If you just did the gauntlet, please type how many you got in the chats. I want to give some shout outs. I saw so many people going super fast. Very nice. Ashley said she got 8.
Nice.
Great job, Ashley.
Camille said she lost count. She was working so hard. I saw.
She probably got 11.
Summer got 4. Very nice, Summer.
Good job,
Great job, Summer.
Very nice. Mr. Nathan with his 5.
Yeah.
Woo. Good job, Nathan.
You guys killed it.
Very good. Wow, that was super, super cool. So now we will bring our heart rates down. and we're going to do that with a little Q&A with our coaches. We want to celebrate them and thank them for being here all week, teaching us goalball skills behind the scenes. And so I have some questions lined up, and then we're going to end with the most important part. We're going to have a little raffle. Okay. So if you have a question, type it in the chat. You can start typing your questions. I'll get to as many of them as possible. I have some questions I'm going to start with. And so get your drinks of water. I'm going to bring up my questions, and then we will get started. So we'll let people.
While he's getting his question list up, just let Rob or myself know if you guys are all doing okay. All right? Super proud of you. That was a lot of hard work. Good job, you guys.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to start with a super softball question, and I'll start with you, Coach Eliana. What is your favorite thing about goalball?
Oh my gosh. Do you mean in terms of like why I love the sport, or like just?
What you can give me your favorite thing you love about the sport, and your favorite thing in the sport, throwing, defense.
So my favorite thing about the sport, and we touched on this a bit, is that it takes vision out of the equation. And so I'm able to be an athlete first, and it helps me grow as an athlete and as a person off and on the court. I feel like I spend a lot of my life compensating for my visual limitation. And so when I can be in an environment where it's not a factor and I can just focus on being my best self, it's really like empowering and freeing. So I love that vision is eliminated and we all are equals. My favorite thing about the sport is I love to make backup saves. Sometimes, so we're all on the court, it's 3-on-3, and every person is involved in every play. So if you have the center pop the ball up, it's not like, oh, that's the end, it's going in the goal. Your wings are supposed to help. They're supposed to run the goal line, dive, make a save, be that backup. And so one of my favorite parts of the game is being able to support my teammates and like run that goal line and slide and push that ball out right before it's about to score. Because the whole ball has to cross the line, not just part of it, the entire thing. So we've made fingertip saves. We drill so much like active defense, running the line, being ready to get balls out. So I just love being that secondary person to help my teammates out.
Nice, thank you. Coach Calahan, I'm starting you with the same softball question. What is your favorite thing about goalball?
So my favorite thing about goalball is the fact that it's a sport that anyone can really play and be involved with. I've played with people all around the world, sighted, not sighted. I played with NFL running backs like Tiki Barber. I mean, you can really get anyone to play it. And instead of trying to fix like football so I can play, it's a sport that's already accommodated for everyone to play. So I really enjoy the fact that everyone can play, everyone's on an equal playing field, and it's so inclusive that it's amazing. I love it. And then my favorite part of goalball is quite the opposite of Eliana's. So I do this thing where if we block the ball forward up towards half court, I will do this thing where I sprint to half court, do a baseball slide around the ball, collect it, chest pass it to another player, probably like a one bounce to them, and then they throw it and score it. That's my, like, that gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because I love doing that. So
you like the assist?
Oh, the assist. I mean, it's a crazy play, doing the baseball slide kind of around the goal ball, collecting it. And I'm really good at it, in my opinion. I don't know statistically, but I mean, like, the fact of just like sprinting forward, diving to get the ball, and then just doing like a chest pass that does a one bounce to the other player that's ready to collect and throw and score. I mean, there's nothing like it.
It's
exhilarating.
I like it. So we'll have the next question for both of you guys. Camille is asking, what's the best type of conditioning to do? This one, you can go first, Cal.
So we do a lot of circuit training because goalball is sprint, stop, sprint, stop. So we do a lot of like Tabata workouts. Like Tabata is pretty much identical to what goalball is, because you're 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 20 seconds on, doing that. Just we were doing Tabata workouts before COVID, where we did We had 8 exercises, I'm pretty sure, or 6 exercises, and we did 8 rounds and got through 8 for each exercise. It was awful. I mean, it was just grueling. But like circuits and Tabata, that kind of stuff is the best workout because it's going to get your heart rate so high and then bring it down, like stop immediately. So in my opinion, those are the best kind of workouts.
What about you, Coach Eliana? What's the best type of conditioning you think?
I would agree a lot with Calahan. One thing we've started doing is we have heart rate monitors, and our strength coach says that our workouts should be harder than our games. And so he can kind of take our heart rate data from a game and make sure the workouts are matching it, if not being harder. So, I mean, we do strength training, which is really important to keep your muscle group strong and healthy and like, so you have power. But I think doing really great cardio conditioning is the biggest key to, because you can be the strongest person out there, but if you're tired and you have weak form or you can't throw hard, then like what use are you to your team? So I think cardio conditioning and being able to like have endurance training throughout the whole game is what's going to make you the best, most effective athlete for your team.
Nice. We have a question from Ashley. How long have you both been playing for?
I can start. So I started playing about 10 years ago. I'm 24 right now, and I learned about the game when I was 14. I grew up wanting to play sports, very active. I'm in the middle of 2 brothers, and I tried soccer and couldn't ever find the ball to keep up with the game. And I tried track, which was fun, but just never really loved it. And when I learned about goalball, I just kind of fell in love because I was finally able to find a sport that I could compete in. So I've been playing for 10 years since then.
I have been playing for 14 years. I started playing when I was 11. I'm 25 right now. When I was young, I excelled at baseball. I was very, very good at baseball, but with retinitis pigmentosa, my vision continuously gets worse. So as my peripheral vision starts to fade, trying to track a baseball going like 60 miles per hour became less likely and then more dangerous, if anything. So I really had that competitive edge. My brother was really good at basketball, and my sister was also very good at soccer. And so I had just grew up in a competitive family. And so I found the sport of goalball when I was 11, and then I ran with it. And now I'm a captain on the men's team.
Nice, very nice. We have a question from Anna about where can I buy some goalball equipment?
Hey, that is such a great question. We partner our technical, I think our NGB for goalball is, or high performance, either one, is USABA, United States Association of Blind Athletes. And through them, you can buy pre-made courts, you can get eye shades, they can help you get balls, nets. Something that's nice is with goalball, so I don't know if we touched on this, but the court is string with tape over it. So that's how athletes know where they're at, is by feel. And so what USABA has done, they've pre-measured the lines, cut them. And so when you're putting down a court, you already the court is pre-made and you just have to like measure it, lay it down, tape it down, which goalball, you know, it's more set up than just going to a track or going to like the gym to play basketball. But when the court's pre-measured, it does help. So United States Association of Blind Athletes has kits, and they would love to like get gear out to organizations or to individual athletes who would like to get more involved.
Very nice. Cal, anything to add?
I mean, if you want to buy, I mean, I think there's going to be local organizations as well that are willing to get you equipment and help finance and find areas to train and get equipment. USABA is a great resource, but there's just like local foundations in your area, like maybe Angel City one day could offer it, you know? So maybe finding like local disability sports organizations, they might also have resources available.
Yeah, that's a great point. Currently at Wayfinder, we don't sell goalball equipment. We do have goalball equipment for kids when they want to come play with us and they want to learn, and they can borrow pads and eye shades and all that. Because one of the questions we have is from Ellie, Nathan's mom, about where can Nathan get active with goalball. Wayfinder Family Services and Angel City are super excited. We're going to be partnering and continuing to do clinics and regular practices as soon as we can be together. Right now, unfortunately, it's keeping us apart, but we are going to be having a program put together, when we can do it safely and sports can resume in person, and it'll probably happen at the Wayfinder campus. So we will definitely be reaching out to you guys. We want to do more goalball. We want to do other blind sports. We want to start putting things together, and we've already been talking, the great team at Angel City and myself at Wayfinder, we've already been talking about how can we make it happen when we're allowed. So we got that plan in place. Unfortunately, everyone's just got to stay patient right now. We're also itching. We're ready to get back on the court, but we will soon. One more thing on the equipment question. Fun fact, there's 2 places in the world that goalballs are made, and none of them are in the US. One of them is in Canada, and one of them is in Germany. And so those are the 2 places where they make the goal balls. And which ones do you prefer, Calahan? Do you prefer German or Canadian?
I like the German. It's a lot more active, and Canadian ball is this is not very bouncy. It's not very active. It makes the game kind of less interesting to watch and play. Whereas with the German ball, there's a lot more that's going on. It's coming from different angles. It's coming from different heights. You can put incredibly more topspin on the balls when it just makes the game all around more fun once you get to a certain level.
I will say, if you're looking to buy a ball, the names, the one that is Canada, they're called Targe balls, and the ones in Germany are called KSG balls. I honestly don't recommend buying a Targe ball at all. You want to kind of follow what the trends are of the game. And right now, every country is basically playing with KSG. And at the Paralympic level, it's going to be a KSG ball. And like Calahan said, it is a different look of the game. So if you're looking to get your own ball, definitely look into the German KSG balls.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a couple minutes left for questions, and I have a couple questions that I wrote that I want to get in. Some of them are a little fun. Some of them are a little goofy. So one of the questions I have is, what is the most annoying penalty in goalball? Cal, you can start.
The most annoying penalty is, well, I have 2. So the first one's annoying because it shouldn't be a penalty, it should be an infraction. It's the 10-second penalty. In every other sport in the world, there's no other sport like this. In basketball, if you violate the 24-second shot clock, it's just a loss of possession. And every other sport's like that. But in goalball, if you violate it, it's a penalty, and you have to defend. I mean, that makes or breaks a game. But an annoying penalty is a long ball because it's called differently. Every referee is going to call it a little bit differently. Whether it lands on the tape, before the tape, a little bit after the tape, everyone calls it slightly differently. So that's annoying to me.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, in goalball, there's a 10-second shot clock. So when you're on defense, as soon as you block the ball, you have 10 seconds to grab the ball and return it towards the other team. And a long ball is if you bounce the ball too far, which when you're a big, strong guy who's really tall like Calahan, you come really close to that long ball line a lot. What about you, Coach Eliana? What do you think is the most annoying penalty when you get it? You're just like, "Urgh."
I think that, well, for me, sometimes, okay, so I guess what it boils down to is I think with goalball, we just need to keep growing it and getting it bigger and having more regulations in terms of like how things are called, because 10 seconds is so frustrating because you have people at the table timing it, and if they're not paying attention or if they don't start their thing over, they can make a mistake and call it 10 seconds on you, and there's nothing you can do. And so we've gone back and watched film where it was clearly like not even close to 10, but we still got the penalty. And like Calahan was saying with long balls, it's called differently because it's all usually based on the ref. And so for me, I get frustrated because I get called on high balls sometimes. And a high ball is where the ball has to touch the ground before, we call it the high ball line. So you have your goal line and then the team area line, and then 3 more meters up is the high ball line. And if you throw the ball really smooth, some refs go based off sound. And so if they don't necessarily hear it touch the ground, they may call you. And so I've had to adjust my entire throw for a tournament because of how a ref calls the ball. And so I just wish we could find a way where there was like more strict, because sometimes if the ball flies out of your hand, that's cut and dry, that's a high ball. But other times, I mean, in any sport, you got to push it as close as you can to be the best. And so we are trying to drop this ball directly on the line, and they are calling us on high balls when it's not necessarily a high ball. So it's just frustrating that like certain calls can make or break the game versus your performance.
Good, thank you for that. And I think that's a good reason to bring up the point when we're coaching. We always tell athletes, especially I tell young athletes, let's worry about what we can control, right? And I'm sure your coaches are telling you guys the same thing during the game, is to work on your own, what you can control.
Absolutely. So like if we have refs that we realize they're not calling things the way we would, then we switch how we throw, we switch what we're doing. Like we control what we can control.
Okay, another question from the chat. Who is the most famous goalball athlete? So I guess this could be to you guys. Is there anyone that you look up to or looked up to on your way up through goalball? Cal, you can go first.
When I was growing up, like the person I always heard about was this guy named Ginrik from Lithuania, and he throws the ball very unique, but incredibly fast, incredibly accurate, consistently. And he retired after he won gold with his team in Rio. But I never really had like an idol. I always had like my close group of friends that I kind of learned and grew from as athlete and as a blind individual. So, it was a good culmination of athletics, and like everyone on the team kind of was a cohesive group because we're all blind going through the same struggles. So no one in particular, but Genrick is like the most famous person that I knew growing up.
Coach Eliana, what about you? Who would you say is your most famous goalball athlete or someone you looked up to in goalball?
So I will say that the person I'm going to mention, I didn't necessarily look up to her, but she's changed the game. Her name is Sevda Altunaluk. She's from Turkey, and she has the best women's throw in the world. And in Rio, when our team played them, we were destroyed. We were not ready for that team. And that made us take a really hard look at ourselves and where we are and what we need to do. And she has pushed the game in a direction that all these teams are now trying to like keep up and get to that level and even become better. So I say that she learned how to do this throw that was something that we've never seen on the women's side. And for that, it has pushed the game to be a better, more intense, competitive game. So she's really just, she's kind of changed offense in women's goalball. And I think it's great because we're here now, spent the past 4 years working on A, how can we block that ball? And B, how can we also throw that, if not better? And so she's pushed us as Team USA to become a better team. And we're excited to see them in Tokyo or before then and, show how hard we've been working.
Very nice. Okay, so I got one more question from chat, and then I have a question I want us to end on before we get to the raffle. Okay. So the question is from Haley, and she wants to know what is the common injury that you guys deal with in goalball?
On the men's side, it's broken hands. We have 6 foot and above big muscular dudes that are just flying around sometimes, and you get your hands kicked. And so we've had like 4 hand breakages in the past like 4 years. And that's just been, sometimes you get like someone's foot, a stray foot kicking you in the hand, or something goofy like that on the men's side at least.
Okay. What about you, Coach Eliana? Is there a common injury for you guys on the women's side?
I would say goalball, you have a lot of like small injuries. We have a lot of knee injuries on our team. We wear knee pads. I don't know if we covered that, but we wear long pants, knee pads, elbow pads, hip pads, because you're throwing your body on the ground 100 times a game. But yeah, so we've had some like burst sacks on the elbow. We've had some knee injuries where we've had like some torn ligaments or ACLs. I sprained my wrist 2 years ago. So we've just had some like small tendon, ligament, more injuries because you're just so hard on your body.
Good. Okay, so this leads me to my last question for you guys. This is a 2-part question. So which teams would you say are your toughest opponents?
I can go.
Oh, you can go first, Eliana. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if he was ready. So like I said, I would say Turkey is one of our toughest opponents, just in the sense that they've kind of changed the game, and we in the past haven't performed the way we wanted to. So I think for us, we're like, we need to like, we want to win. Like we want that win. I would say Japan is a very difficult opponent because they play at such a high speed and so meticulous that it is a game of like mind, like the will of the mind. Like if we play Japan, if we have a score of 1-0, that's a great game. Like it is so hard to score on them and you can't make a mistake. So they are a really up-tempo, really great team. And so Japan and Turkey. And then I also want to throw out that China is very difficult for us because they don't come to a lot of competitions except like world championships and Paralympics. And so it's kind of hard to practice against a team if you don't have film on them, if you don't really play them. And so, yeah, those three are pretty high competitors for us.
Okay, good. And what about you, Calahan? Who is on the men's side right now? Who are some of the toughest opponents?
So since Rio, we've kind of done like a whole mass shift in like our team. And I feel like we were on a high from Rio, and then we kind of got everyone got their egos a little deflated from the world championships. And so our two biggest competitors are Brazil and Lithuania. When I first started playing and traveling with the team, we would just get smashed by them every single time. And they're very good. They're very accurate. They're very strong defense, and strong defense is the most important thing of goalball. Like if you can play 20 minutes of perfect or 24 minutes of perfect defense, the other team's going to get frustrated and mess up, throw penalties, get frustrated. And so they can do that. But as we've progressed and got closer to Tokyo, I would say that we're definitely getting to where we need to be to beat those teams to win in major competitions, which is really cool because when I first got involved, those were the teams to beat. Germany's also super good, but I think we can get them. But Lithuania and Brazil are some of the best teams in the world.
Okay, that leads me to my final question, which is what will be the key to success for USA Goalball in Tokyo?
For the men's side, playing good defense and not throwing penalties. Those are our two bugaboos, you know what I mean? So we're always trying to it was a push to have this high octane offense and defense on the back burner. And now the tides have turned, and it's clear that defense is one of the most important aspects of the game.
Gotcha. What about you, Coach Eliana? What is the key to success in Tokyo?
I think that it's going to be team cohesion and mental strength and working through adversity, because our team has the talent and the ability to win a gold medal. And we sometimes are our biggest default. We do really well when we do well. And when things start to go wrong, we kind of start to pull away from each other or get down on ourselves and like get in our heads. And then we are way stronger together. And so what we've been really working on during this quarantine and this past year, and we're going to continue, is just mental strength as a team and working through adversity, because things are going to go wrong in sports. You're going to have tough times. And what are we going to do to work through that? Because I truly believe we have the ability to win a medal if we can just do what we need to do.
I agree with that. And obviously we all will be rooting for you guys. We really appreciate all of the knowledge and behind the scenes look. That's fantastic. For those of you who don't know, Team USA, we were the only country in Rio in 2016 at the Paralympics where both men's and women's football teams medaled. We were the only country. So we're definitely going for that again. And
the goal is double up. If you guys watched Calahan's live stream yesterday, he said it. We're trying to get double gold.
Double gold. That is the mission. And we are on that mission. Well, thank you guys for answering the questions. Now, for everyone who's been hanging on, I really appreciate it. Let's get to the big finale. So thank you for all of the questions and all the great answers from our coaches and the behind-the-scenes look. Now we want to thank the Hartford. Because of them, we have some cool stuff to give away today. So the Hartford is giving away some awesome super athlete prize packs, which include a yoga mat, a water bottle, some Angel City socks, and some other fun stuff. What's really, really cool is this is the first time we've done Goalball here with Angel City. and not a lot of people know about it yet. And Calahan always calls it what?
Oh, goalball?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cool sport you've never heard of.
It's a cool sport you've never heard of. So we want to keep that going. And we're super excited to keep working with Angel City in the future and bringing more goalball events. And we're going to continue to grow goalball, especially in the LA area. So we had a small group during the Angel City virtual games in their debut, and that's okay because we love it. And so for the athlete prize packs, we are definitely going to be giving one to, drum roll, Summer is going
Summer
the entire time. She was with us Monday. She checked in, I think, on Wednesday for a little bit, and she was just here doing the Gauntlet. So thank you, Summer. We are going to give another prize pack to, drum roll, Mr. Nathan Nip.
Yeah, Nathan.
Nathan was here. He did a great job in the workout on Wednesday, and we want him to continue his workouts at home. And he did a phenomenal job during the Gauntlet today. So we're going to give one to Nathan as well.
Good job, Nathan.
Congratulations to both of you. It's exciting.
And the last two, drum roll, please. We're going to go to our coaches.
Oh, look at us, Cal. We get packages.
Because they did
Awesome,
such a phenomenal job. We want them to have some Angel City and Hartford gear. So they definitely come back and help teach more kids and keep it going. And we want them to have some stuff to work on in their journey to Tokyo.
So when do I get my ticket to Los Angeles?
That is not.
We look forward to next year. So we'd be sad if you guys didn't ask us back. So.
Good. Yes, we are super excited for everyone. The first time we're going to get to do goalball, hopefully next year in person at the Angel City Games. That's the goal, and we're really looking forward to that. It'll be a phenomenal experience.
Yes.
But I'm really appreciative too. And Wayfinder Family Services, we love blind sports. We love working with athletes who are blind and serving and people with blindness and visual impairment. It's what we've been doing for over 60 years, and we're so excited for all this. It's been a fantastic week. I could keep going and going. I don't know what else to say. It's the first week of the Angel City virtual games is almost done. Not entirely done. It's almost done. Tomorrow we have the final event of the week, and it is the Pajama Fun Run and Roll. So be sure to stay updated on the platform, and there will be more events coming in week 2, which starts August 3rd. For us, we're definitely going to be doing some blind judo. So if you're here with a visual impairment and you're curious about blind judo, tune in then. We're going to have some blind judo workouts. You might be able to win some more swag. We're going to have some really cool Paralympians. You can ask questions about how they came up in all their sports. But so one final time, I want to say thank you so much to our coaches and all the work they put in this week. Thank you to our medical team for checking in with us and learning about goalball and also making sure that we're all safe. So thank you, everyone. We're going to hang around just for a couple minutes. So if you want to ask Calahan or Eliana a question, voice to voice, you can unmute yourselves if you want to hang around. If not, thank you so much, everyone. And have a great weekend. We hope you log on tomorrow.
Thanks for coming, everybody. It was awesome.
Thanks, guys. We had a blast.